Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to GSPro version 2 tips. Today, I wanted to take a few minutes, take a little extra time, and maybe over-explain the penalty system in GSPro. And the penalty system I'm talking about is how you're going to be how penalized for hitting out of the rough, hitting out of the deep rough, hitting out of sand. Some things to keep in mind when we're dealing with those particular penalties is to take note of a few things. And some of those things to take note of is, first of all, the club selection that you're going to be using based on the material you're hitting out of. So if you look in the lower right hand, the lower right hand corner where the mini map is, or it could be on the left, right at the top bar of the mini map, right here on the mini map, you'll see that you're in the deep rough currently, or I'm in the deep rough currently. That then, based on the distance I have, would determine what my club selection is going to be. Now, also take into consideration that I am also at a 16-degree down angle here, 16 degree, and I am 2 degrees to the right. So the ground, as you can see, is going down 16 degrees, but it's also tilted 2 degrees to the right. So hitting at this particular angle, the ball is going to want to leak to the right a little bit because it's below my feet 2 degrees. But at the same time, the ground is going down, so I'm going to lose loft of the club. So I'm going to need a higher lofted club because I'm already going on a downslope. I'm in the deep rough, which means I'm going to be heavily penalized. Now, the penalization system is based upon your club head speed, or the ball speed that you hit the ball with, the loft in which you're hitting that, the lie angles on the ground are also equally important. So in a 100-yard shot, let's take some shots and take a look at what it does. I have a pitching wedge. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. But I have a pitching wedge, and I'm going to hit real quick. Nothing major, just a quick little shot. Not very good, off the toe. But the point being is, as we look on the left-hand side, I had 79, so 21% of my speed was penalized, along with almost half of my spin. Now let's take a 6-iron and take the exact same type shot. Hopefully it won't be toey, right? And we're going to see what kind of a penalty we got on that particular shot. All right, so less spin was taken off because I probably made better contact with the golf ball. Now I go back out to a sand wedge to make the same shot again. To less distance, obviously. But my spin numbers and my speed numbers are better, less penalized on the speed because I was able to get the ball up in the air. Right? So I'm going to get penalized less speed by doing that. All right, so I've moved to a different part of the course. And as you can see on this section, again, it's in deep rough, 9 degrees up, and 5.2 degrees left. The important piece is that it is 9 degrees up. So out of this, taking a 7-iron, let's look at that penalty. Again, we're going to get, as you can see, we've been steadily getting right around 20% reduction out of the deep rough. Now, the best way to figure out, based on your swing, based on your mechanics, is to see how much distance you get with certain clubs coming out of the deep rough under certain conditions. As you can see, I'm steadily leaking it to the left because of the ball placement. It's above my feet. But the point being is, because I'm in practice mode, I'm going to have a pretty good idea that with a 7-iron, I'm going to get about, what was that, 112 yards, roughly thereabouts, out. 20% reduction in speed. If I try to hit a 7-wood out of here, I hit that fat. Ha! That was not a very good strike at all. I still got 109 yards with a 20% speed reduction. So that is the best way. There we go. That was a good strike with a 7-wood. That was a good strike with a 7-wood. Out of the deep rough. And my penalty was, I lost 24% in speed. But I still got it 170 yards with my 7-wood. And my launch monitor said the raw was 206 carry and in game was 151 carry. That is a great reduction in the speed and the spin of the golf ball. The point I'm trying to make in all of this, the point I'm trying to really make here, is that get out on the golf course in practice mode, in real conditions, to see what these penalties are actually going to be like under certain conditions. Practicing on the course is the best way possible to continue to figure out what these penalties are with different clubs. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. I was out of the rough with a 5%, 6% down. 5% of my speed was taken away because of the rough. Okay? Keep in mind what club you're using. That was a gap wedge. What club you're using and where you are on the golf course. Now, as you move around different locations, it's also a good idea to practice how things are going to play for you out of the sand. This is an upward lie. Look at that number, 8.7 up. So we're going to get more loft than you normally would think that you're going to get. And look at it as you come out. Likewise, if you jump over to the other sand bunker in a different location, now I'm on a downward lie. That's very important, as the penalty is calculated based on that lie. Okay? Ooh, almost hold it. That'd have been nice. On-course practice is going to get you the best results overall for everything, especially for putting. Let's take this putt, for instance. We have downhill, as you can see the dots rolling down, and it's going from left to right. Now the brake line indicator, the BLI, is the white line. As you move that around, the white line can get longer or shorter depending on how severe the brake is. So the brake here goes pretty heavy brake, short, much less brake, less brake, less brake, less brake. So we're going to need to putt this out here. But also keep in mind that that white line is pointing at like 2 o'clock if you're looking at a clock, which means it's going somewhat downhill also. So it's going from left to right and down. Your speed is then going to be taken into consideration based on the stimp. So the only way to practice what it's going to feel like in your studio, on your mat, in your facility, is what are you putting off of, what stimp the course is, are you downhill, right to left, left to right, etc. Secondly, if I'm an 11 stimp, I'm 2 inches downhill, I'm going to subtract that in feet. So I'm going to try and hit this to be about an 8.5 foot putt or an 8-foot putt overall. I left it out, I pulled it out. Oh, nope, I actually hit it perfect that time. I just hadn't lined up the putt correct. And the way to get used to that speed is on-course practice. I cannot stress that enough. On course practice. Then you can get the feel of things. Move around, putt on different greens, putt from different distances, putt to your heart. Ooh, that's a tough putt, right? Putt to your heart's content, right? What do I got? 24. I'm up 6. That's about 30. Look at the BLI. And you won't get the BLI in tournaments, but it's a good thing to use it while you're practicing to get a feel for these dots. Like this is a very slow break. So I'm going to drop it right here about, and I'm going to go for about a 30-foot putt on my mat, which to me is going to be just to be able to touch the screen a little bit. I pushed it, right? I pushed it. It's a bad putt on my part. The point is, practice, practice, practice on your simulator. So you know what these putts feel like when you're playing on the FGT Tour, okay? As you can see, I pulled that about 0.9, so my aim wasn't even right, right? My aim wasn't even right. Practice all different scenarios, practice all different situations, and you will have a much easier time estimating what the penalty is going to be. Just like in real golf, when you're looking at it, you're looking at how tall that grass is, you're looking at uphill, downhill, right or left, balls below or above your feet, you're looking at how the ball is lying, you're looking at your club selection, you're looking at your target, and you're making all these determinations, but you really don't know what's going to happen until you strike the ball. GSPro tries to simulate that. As you're hitting the ball, you might hit a blade of grass and get a flyer. You might completely miss the blade of grass. All those things are trying to take into consideration. Is it perfect? No. GSPro is software. It's never going to be able to predict, or is it going to try to guess all situations that you'll face on the golf course? So with that, it tries to do the best job it possibly can by creating a dynamic penalty based on speed, lie, and loft. Remember that. And for now, I'm going to leave you with practice, practice, practice. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Share my videos, tell others about it, and most of all, send me a like and send me some suggestions on other content that you would like to see on GSPro version 2 tips. Thanks.